So visually we can see that nothing have changed in our mail application. However, the new feature that is very essential within our mail application is known as markup. So just to demonstrate markup, we'll open a new mail message. And within my new mail message, I'll just add in an attachment. Going to Finder. My Finder, I'll go into my documents, and in my documents, I'll simply select the screenshot of the map that I did earlier. So now within this attachment, if I simply click on the attachment, it will show a little icon in the top right hand corner of that attachment, which gives me the option to do markup. So as soon as I tap on markup, it will then make my markup tools available. So now on my markup tools, as I can see, it's got my pen tool and all the different tools. That is similar to those tools that we will find within our preview application. So if I simply just go into my preview by going into my Finder, and I'll double click on that same file that is within my mail, it will then open in my preview. So if I should tap on the little marker box, it will show me exactly the similar tools that is available within my mail now, as well as markup. So first of all, I'm just going to close down my preview. First of all, in the markup, I can simply draw certain objects. So if I select my pen tool, I can then draw, and it will then do a perfect circle on that option. I can take it back to the way it was, or I can just do the circle, and I can change the color to say white, or do a no fill color, and then just change the outlining of it to making it black. And I can then change the object form. I can add in a little loop by going into the loop option and just focus on that particular option, and I can basically just do a certain character drawing, like triangles, squares, and it will basically just do those adjustments. So very good for if I want to do a quick mind map within my mail, or just want to put some focus on a particular object. And I also type in certain text within my attachment. I can say current location, and it will, and I can move that on that side. So that is basically my markup option, and if I say done, it will then go as within that attachment within my mail. Another feature that is very much part of the mail application is a mail drop. Now, mail drop allows you to send large emails, and it will basically just send a link to that person's iCloud. Otherwise, it will just send the link as a normal email. So now, just to demonstrate it, I'm going to open a new mail message once again, and I'll add in some attachments that are much larger. So basically, I will just go and add in one movie and attach it to my message. And as I can see, it says 12 megabytes, but it doesn't give me any warning whatsoever in terms of that this mail is too large. For the mail drop to work, we must simply go to Mail, Preferences. And in my preferences, we go into our account option. Under our account option, we go to Advanced. And in our Advanced, we must have the Send Large Attachment with Mail Drop must be ticked on. So after I send the attachment, it will basically send the link to that attachment, which is within my iCloud drive. Now, it can send up to about 5 gigs maximum size via the mail drop. So these are basically the two new features that is part of the mail. Now, continuing on, seeing that we are part of the markup, let's just go into the preview again. So if I go to Finder and I go back into the documents, And within my documents, I'm going to go back into the map image, double click on it to open it in preview. The other feature that is pretty important, or that is pretty useful within my preview, is the fact that I can actually do signatures on my trackpad. So if I go into my markup toolbox and I click on the sign option, I'm just gonna say or untick that signature option. And basically in my signature option, I've got the option to simply use my trackpad. So if I sign on my trackpad and tap on any key, that will then become my signature. Alternatively, I can also use my camera if I don't have a trackpad. So once I have my camera, I just simply sign on a blank page, and after holding the page up just above the line, it will then add in my signature. Press on done, and that signature is then added within my preview. And I can simply just click on that signature and it will then add that signature into my document or into my image within preview. So basically those are the new features that is added within my preview as well as my mail application. Next up, we'll look into the QuickTime, how we can do the screen recording as well as our iOS recording. The new feature that was introduced within my QuickTime player within Yosemite is basically giving me the ability to do different recording options. So if I should go into my QuickTime player, click on done, and click on file on my top of my menu bar while in QuickTime, I can simply do a new movie recording, audio recording, or even screen recording. If I select the screen recording, it will basically give me the ability to do a recording directly from the Mac desktop. Now, if I look next to my recording button, there's a drop down arrow, which basically gives me the recording options where I can change the microphone options as well as add in certain functional options within my recording, such as show the mouse clicks within the recording. I've got the ability to do screen recordings directly from my iOS device. So this time around, to demonstrate the iOS recording, I will go to File and not go to Screen Recording, but simply go to New Movie Recording. Now when I click on New Movie Recording, by default it will go directly into my FaceTime camera, which is what it's doing now. However, I want to switch it back to my iOS device. Now please note that the iOS device must be plugged in via the USB through the sync cable. So I've got my iPad plugged into the Mac through the lightning cable. So I can simply go to the drop down arrow next to the record button and I'll see that my iPad will be available. So as soon as I click on the iPad option, I can see that the emphasis of the recording is not on the FaceTime camera anymore. However, it is this time focused on the iPad. So now I can view my iPad directly from the screen. I can also do my recordings directly from the iOS device itself. So that is basically the new features within my QuickTime player, as well as all the new features within the applications of Yosemite.